It's TP's Weekly Roundup. It's Friday, the 11th of April. It's been a busy week. I'm TP, I'm Tracy Perks, and I'm going to tell you what I've been up to in my quilting world, my business world, and boat life. We've also got Quilt of the Week, and we've got a question that was asked last week that I want to share the answer with you. So let's talk about sewing and quilting first. So this week I've been working on a new quilt that is going to come out for Sewing Street. So I've pieced all that together now, and I've basted it, and I need to quilt it this weekend. I've made it in these beautiful Macawa linen textures, and as you know by now that these are one of my favourite blenders to use. I will be using an Aurifil thread, and I think I'm going to use a 28 weight. I've got some new 28 weight threads to play with, so I'm just auditioning the different colour threads to use on the top and trying to go a little bit outside my comfort zone, so I'm not just sticking with like an off-white or a light grey. So I'll let you know next week what I've decided upon. Talking of thread, I've been playing with a bit more of the 12 weight Aurifil thread, and I'm just loving the sort of texture that it gives. I've been working on some applique designs as well. I think I said that last week. So, business updates. Well, a lot of admin as normal. I've been working on a workshop that is going to be sort of more business related. But that's nowhere near ready yet. But I've spent at least a good day this week working on that. So more to come on that, probably in the next month or so, really. Then I met my friend Kim. We went for lunch at a lovely hotel and restaurant this week. I wanted to go and have a look there to see about having one-day retreats sort of closer to me, sort of in the Milton Keynes area. I found the place. It was lovely. The lunch was beautiful, and we had a good wander around. It's a really nice venue. It's got its own free parking. It's in a beautiful little village outside Milton Keynes. So I've booked a date. So sometime in August, it's going to be a weekday. It's going to be a one-day retreat. So the next stage is to start building that up. So these retreats don't just happen and you just book on it. I need to get decent pictures of the venue. They have sent me some through. I need to build my sales form. I then need to think about what marketing I'm going to do. I need to build stuff in the back office of my website. So as a product or a service. Then I need to think about email sequences and all of that. So when you book onto a retreat or you buy a product, it's really easy, isn't it? It's like one click or a couple of clicks and give a bit of information, and then it gets delivered to you, or you go on the retreat and, you know, you have a really lovely time. But now I've made the decision to do this one-day retreat. I'm just thinking that all the work that has to go with that behind the scenes, it's a lot of work. So I'm itching to get on with that, but I think I'm going to just park that until next week. But if anybody wants to save the date, it's the 19th of August. It's close to me, in the Bedfordshire area. And save the date. So next up is boat life. So boat life, it's been really lovely this last week. It's not rained. The weather's been really nice, a bit chilly in the mornings. So we've still had the fire on sort of overnight, but not so much in the daytime. And then in the afternoons, I've been coming out in a little boat, so I don't need to put the fire on in here. And as you can see, the sun is shining through the window. It's made such a difference. Today we had delivery of coal. So I've ordered, I'm hoping it's the last of the coal that I need to order for this winter. I'm not too hopeful on that, but fingers crossed. So we've had a top up of diesel, and we have had some more bags of coal, and I'm just keeping everything crossed that the weather is going to get better and we don't need any more coal. As you can see here, the tulips they've just come up. They're beautiful. My mother-in-law bought me these, as me and Bri, these for Christmas. And I said I wanted to have some like more bulbs that we could just move around into different containers and stuff. So this is the first lot that have come up. The ones on the left-hand side, my sister-in-law bought me those from Amsterdam. So I can't wait to see what they look like. But I think by the looks of those, they'll be in the next couple of weeks. And then I've had a little bit of a spring clean of the windows in the little boat. I had all little paper hearts hanging down from the windows. So I've taken those down. I made some big white flowers, cut them out with my brother's Scan and Cut, and then I've just sewn them together. They're now hanging in the windows as well. So they look nice and spring-like. And I've also got a couple of little stuffed Easter bunnies that are just hanging from the windows as well. So they look quite cute. So, quilt of the week. Now, last week, after I posted Carl's quilt, I decided that quilt of the week, that if your quilt is featured, that you will get a free quilt pattern. So if you are featured as quilt of the week and you've sent me some nice pictures in and a little bit of an explanation about the quilt, the fabric that you've used, your inspiration behind your colourway, anything like that I can share, then you will get a free pattern. So this week's quilt of the week is Adelle's from Pearpaws Quilting. It's the In Pieces quilt that she's made, and she's made it here in some lovely blues. And this is going to be auctioned off for to raise some funds for a local school near her in the Scottish borders. So Adelle, I'd just like to say, get in touch and let me know which quilt pattern of mine you would like next, and I'll get that sent over to you. Okay, and then we've got the Q&A session. So I asked last week if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask me about my business, boat life, how I write my patterns, anything like that, just send them over to me, and I'll do my best to answer them. So this one is from Denise, and Denise has asked me, what was my first sewing machine and how long did I have it for? Which I think is a really good question to ask. So my first sewing machine, it was a brother. I bought it from Hobbycraft. I think it was £80. It was bought on a whim because my husband said, you need to go and get a hobby. You're working too hard in my corporate world that I lived in at that point. And I went to Hobbycraft on, I think it was Boxing Day, and I bought the sewing machine. And it was a basic model. That's what you'll get for an £80 sewing machine. I bought the sewing machine. I bought some fat quarters, and some thread and some scissors. I didn't buy a ruler. I didn't buy a rotary cutter. I didn't buy a cutting mat because I didn't know. I thought I could just make a quilt, and it would be amazing. And I hadn't sewn since school. So yeah, very naive when I bought that machine. I had it for about a year, I think it was about a year. And then I bought a Brother Innovis 955, which I've still got now. That had an embroidery unit on it, a small embroidery unit on it. And I was supposed to sell that. This is me telling me I was supposed to sell it. Nobody else. I was supposed to sell that before I then bought my one that I've got here now in front of me, my Brother Innovis V5, which has got a big embroidery unit on it. I can't remember how long I had the 955 for, the smaller one, but I didn't sell it. That's the one that I take with me to retreats, to sewing classes, workshops, that kind of thing. I don't use the embroidery unit on it now. So really, I suppose I could chop it in and get another machine just for sewing retreats. But, better the devil you know, I suppose. So yes, so that's my answer to my sewing machine. I've had this one here, my brother Innovis V5, for I think 8 or 9 years now, and I've been sewing for about, I can't remember, 13 years. So yeah, I went through a couple pretty quick actually. So thanks, Denise, for the question. If you've got any questions that you'd like me to answer, then please just send them in to me, and I will answer them next week or the week after. Thanks again for watching, and if you like this video, please press the like and the subscribe button. Don't forget to send in Quilt of the Week, pictures of my quilt patterns, the quilts that you've made, and then I'll feature those on the coming up TP's Weekly Roundup. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch up with you next week.